Yo, what is going on, everybody? Let me know if everybody can hear me, if everything's good before we get into tonight's stream. Let's see. Shout out to everybody that's here already in the chat. And happy Halloween to everybody. I hope everybody's safe, having a good time. So how's my audio sound to everybody? Am I good? Is it too loud, too low? Okay. Necro Boogie, what's up to you? Unk, we got Unk in the house. Shout out to Unk. Audio's good. Thank you. Thank you, man. I just want to give people some time. I said it started at 9. Just give them a minute or two just to join in. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I hope everybody's chilling. I say all the time, like, I'm just happy and appreciative that we're living in the time that we're living and that we're in the place that we're in, because some people don't got that luxury. John Uchiha, that second name Uchiha stands out to me, man. What's up, man? I like that name Uchiha. What is going on, everybody? So tonight's topic, as you guys seen from the thumbnail, I'm just taking my time, letting some people are still coming in, is Ninja versus the toy companies. But when I say me versus the toy companies, one, I hate talking in third person. That's just me reading it. But when I say me versus the toy companies, I'm mainly talking about content creators, and I don't want to speak for every content creator, so I'm gonna mainly speak about myself. But what I'm saying about myself, I feel like it applies to every content creator. So that's the main thing that we're going to be getting into tonight. Just being a content creator in today's space, having to deal with and work with certain companies, or trying to work with certain companies, I should say. But if we're talking about like the big companies like Hasbro, Mattel, and I don't mind saying those names, but if we're talking about smaller companies, especially companies that maybe I tried to work with, and for whatever reason things didn't work out, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's brand. I'm not trying to come at anybody's livelihood. So I'm not going to be bringing up those smaller companies, but big major billion-dollar corporations like Hasbro. Yeah, I have no problem saying Hasbro anytime that I need to, or Mattel or NECA, or any of those types of things. Real quick before we get into it, before I start, shout out to Gabriel Printo. He says, "Oh yeah, can't wait as the Ninja Clan rest by day, Ninja Clans by facts." All facts. Speaking of toy companies, look at who we got in the chat right now. We have Ramen Toys. Shout out to Ace over at Ramen Toys. He said, "Have a great stream. I will catch the rerun tonight after my day out with displaying model behavior. Have a good one, guys." Shout out to Dave, too. Shout out to Ace from Ramen Toys. And definitely shout out to Dave. I love displaying model behavior. He is one of the few, and one of the rare content creators that he's super bright and super positive, right? But he still gets his point across. He still calls companies out when he needs to call them out. He still gets his point across while being positive. And he does just such a good job at doing that shit, man. So shout out to Ace from Ramen Toys. Shout out to Dave. And let's address this real quick. Antonio Life Rants 82. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. He says, "Thoughts on Spiro toys? Just copped. They are amazing." Yo, they don't look bad to me. They don't look bad. They have a future release of a lion that I'm very interested in. But I haven't gotten around to getting anything right now. But you just said that they're good. So when I do finally get something, I'm hoping that it will live up to that. Because everybody that I know basically says that they're good. So shout out to that. And then also, shout out to Antonio for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jackboy20, JFW Productions, gifted 5 Articulated Ninja Clan memberships. Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that big time. Oh, I appreciate that, Jack. Definitely. I just love to see the Ninja Clan growing over time, and slowly we are definitely growing. So thank you. And one more super chat before we get into the main subject of the night. We got Pokey87. Thank you for that super chat, man. Finally got a new job so I can afford super chats again. Gotta send some love to the team that keeps it real AF. Love y'all. Yo, I appreciate that, man. And I like that picture right there. He's a legend. So thank you, man. Thank you, Pokey87. I definitely do appreciate that. Um, so, and once I give my little rant, probably halfway through my rant, I'll address some more super chats if there are super chats. But I want to try to get to everybody's questions. And remember, if you are a member, we're doing a private show afterwards. So I try to address everything and maybe get a little bit more explicit there because I'm not worried about YouTube demonetizing or anything. A video that's not monetized for my private members anyway. So guys, when I say being a content creator, I'm just speaking for myself. And when I say me versus the toy companies, but I don't see a lot of content creators speak about this stuff. And I often get the question, it's like, hey, I'm making a channel, or I want to make a channel. I want to review figures. What should I do? And it makes me think about this because I'm like, it depends. It honestly depends how real, quote unquote, you plan to keep it. Because there are a lot of content creators that they're just super positive. They're super nice, super positive. I'm not saying nothing negative about them, and I don't have one specific person in mind. It's just so many fall under that umbrella. But it's hard for me as a content creator, especially when I'm dealing with bigger companies. So when I say bigger companies, guys, think about the top five. Whoever, Hasbro is obviously like number one when it comes to action figures. Their evaluation recently was like 6 billion plus or something like that. So they're number one. Then you got Mattel, then you got NECA. But I say me versus the toy companies because I have been in talks with quite a few, and they always kind of treat me like I'm crazy, or they kind of treat me like me saying no to them is a big deal. And I 100% understand why, because I feel like a lot of the content creators that came before me, I feel like they sold out to major companies. Now, I don't mean that they're shills. That's not what I said. I didn't say that they're shills. I didn't say what I mean when I say sold out. I mean that I feel like they didn't value their time, because a basic retail price of a figure is, $24.99. And a lot of these companies, they'll contact me and they're like, hey, we want to send you a figure. Let's say the price of that figure is $24.99 or whatever. And it's like, I don't know about other content creators. I don't want to speak for them. There are some that I know takes a while to edit. Like, let's look at D Amazing. I love D Amazing's work. I love his photography, but I know it probably takes him a while to get some of those amazing ass shots because I know how long it takes me. With that being said, I just feel like certain content creators, when you go through that exchange with a company and you decide, okay, yeah, send a figure, that's a big deal. Like that is a huge big deal because let's say it takes you 3 to 4 hours to make a video. Dude, it takes me 7 to 8 hours to make a video, but I'm going to talk about the average content creator, or what I think based on the ones that I know and how long they tell me it takes them to make a video. Let's say 3 to 4 hours. You're still trading 3 to 4 hours for a $25 piece of plastic. And that's, I hope, to say the least, I would hope that you like the toy that you're trading so much time for to do this promotional piece for this company. Where now I'm at the point where I'm only showing stuff on my channel that either I pre-ordered, even if I got it in early, I already know that I'm paying for it. I was genuinely interested in it, but I just feel like, guys, it's always me versus the companies, because companies will reach out and they say, hey, we want to send you something. What does something mean? Like, what, what am I supposed to do with that? But that's the way things have been set up for so long before me. They were able to just message content creators and say, hey, we want to send you an action figure. And they don't let the content creator. There were some companies that wanted to send me stuff. They're not in the top 5, but they're working like the top 5 do. And when I asked them, I'm like, okay, so what's in your catalog that you could send me? And they're like, oh, well, we're going to send you this one specific figure. How do you know I was going to like that one specific figure? Like, what if I want to do figure B and not figure A? And it's funny, guys. It's funny behind the scenes, the messages that go on back and forth, especially trying to negotiate with companies. And it's so hard for me to negotiate with companies or to say no or to have some type of standards, because I feel like the standards that were before me from the content creators in this space specifically before me, I feel like there weren't any standards, because a lot of these guys, and no shame to them, maybe they love that action figure, but I feel like a lot of these guys were happy to just get a free toy. And it's like, I wish even the content creators that I don't agree with, or I don't often find myself agreeing with their takes, I don't want companies taking advantage of them, because they're still a content creator. So if a company can come and take advantage of them, they're thinking that they can take advantage of me too. So it reflects us all. Like, we're all a part of this community. And it was just It's been something that I've been dealing with for like a while now, having to negotiate with companies. And sometimes I've had a company literally say like, hey, like we want to send you something. Can you make a review piece on it? And when I asked, I put in quotations what something is, and it was like, oh, one of our most recent action figures. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? And my thing is just no, forget it. And it's crazy because then you have some companies that if you say no to them for one thing, they'll never want to work with you again. They'll never offer to send you anything again because they're upset that you told them no. And it sucks, but this is the way that it's been set up before me. And the reason I say in this category or in the action figure collecting space in general is because I mentioned this before. But my girl, she's big into makeup. Has a big makeup following on TikTok and Instagram, and companies were reaching out to her and they were just asking her right off the bat, "Hey, what are your rates? What are your rates?" Before we even get into anything, any type of promotional offers, what are your rates? Now, I'm not saying that can apply to every content creator. Of course not. Some content creators are still on the come up. Like me. I don't view it as I'm much. I'm still on the come up. Some content creators only have 1,000 subscribers. But in the very least, if you're reaching out to that content creator because you want to work with them, send them at least 2 or 3 of that same free product. But the major corporations, I feel like, especially before COVID, a few years before COVID, guys, the shit that I seen, the stuff that they were able to do and get away with, like Hasbro, take Hasbro for example, the fact that Hasbro was sending out standard retail figures, standard retail 24.99, maybe at that time it was 22.99. But the fact that Hasbro is sending out standard retail figures to content creators, and I don't care if it was an early release or a sample, or the content creators would then have to send them back. This is why it's me versus the companies all the time. And I feel like in the video game industry, in the makeup industry, in the cooking, like it's not like that. Everybody always asks, hey, what are your rates? But in the toy community, there's like no negotiating with the big companies. The big companies do not care. And Talker Art spoke about this before, where McFarlane was sending him stuff and he didn't like the stuff that McFarlane was sending him. So he said, whatever, I'm just not going to make a review on it. And they just kept sending him random stuff. And then I think over time, they eventually got the hint and they eventually stopped sending him free shit. Right. But it's like, to think, especially as a big company, this just goes to show how detached they are from their audience. You can't just send someone a random item and think that they're going to lie to their audience or they're going to hype it up or, create this amazing action figure review for this random. I can't do it. Like, I don't even work with those companies. The bigger companies at the top, Hasbro, Mattel. Do you guys remember when everybody, a lot of content creators were getting those G.I. Joe classified promotional boxes in? Big box, had a lot of Target, Cobra Island exclusive stuff in it. And I had an opportunity to review that. And I was just like, no, I'm good. But not for no like self-righteous reasons. It was, no, I'm good because their distribution at the time was ass. It's a little bit better now. But at the time, their distribution was ass. So I'm like, you guys, I'm going to review something that basically nobody can get their hands on. That's going to make them upset. Like, you guys got to fix your distribution. And then on top of that, I didn't know what was inside of the box. So I didn't want to like pretend to be happy about some life-size cosplay items or something that I knew that deep down I wasn't happy about. I was not going to like at all. So I get like this weird rep in the community that like, I'm always going at companies and maybe, but mainly the big ones. I try not to tear down anybody that's on the way up. Like, I don't want to hurt any smaller company's brand or I've had people send me stuff and I tell them, hey, no harm, no foul. If you send me something and I don't like it, and it's even if it's something that I chose, because I never just get random things in for free. It's always something that I chose. But if, hey, for whatever reason I don't like it, I'll just send it back to you. I won't make a video on it. This way I don't hurt your brand and I don't lie to my audience. It's literally no harm, no foul. I've done that too, but the way that things have been done before me, guys, it's like, and I'm not talking shit about any content creators. I'm just saying the majority of them that I see, they seem happy to just get a standard figure from a Hasbro or a Mattel or a NECA or whatever the case is. They just seem happy to just get that random figure when 9 times out of 10 that figures are repaint anyway, right? Like the figures are, guys, I'm not going to get excited or I don't want a company to think that they could just send me anything, but it sucks because the guys that came before me, they accepted anything and they had no standards. And then these creators turn around and they're like, hey, YouTube doesn't pay us much in ad revenue, or I'm struggling for money, or this, that. Well, I just want fellow content creators to value their time, value their platforms, and it's totally fine. It's totally okay to get like free products in, but make sure that they're products that you actually like. Don't let a company tell you what they're going to give you. And some companies even want to approve of your video even before the video goes public. That's crazy. Like, that is like highway robbery. One, you're already not paying. A lot of these content creators, myself included, like, we're not getting paid to review this stuff. Do I think that some of us should? Sure. Once you reach, let's say, whatever the bare minimum is, you need 50K subscribers or 100K. Once you reach that minimum that majority of companies will work with, then sure, get paid after that. But until you reach that point, it's like, hey, you can accept a free figure, but just make sure, or a free item. It doesn't have to be a figure. Just make sure that you actually love that item. And it's just tough. It's tough working with, it's tough being in a field or an industry where I'm a part of the few that's saying no. The companies are just like, okay, all right, forget it. Because they know next to me, they're going to go and contact this other content creator and he's just going to say yes. He's going to say yes just to say yes, just to be happy to say yes, just to be happy to get something in for free. And I don't know, man, it's strange. It's a strange climate, but things are slowly starting to change. And it's crazy when I see customers, content creators, or whoever, they'll defend companies and push back against these changes. Where it's like, dude, even the content creators that I don't agree with, I don't want them getting taken advantage of. When I'm saying no to a company, I'm not only saying no to a company for myself, or when I'm saying no to Hasbro crowdfunding, I'm not only saying no for myself, I'm saying no for other content creators, for customers, and the people that are coming after me. The people, when I say coming after me, I don't mean literally, I mean the content creators that are now on the come up, that want to do this, that are messaging me like, hey, how should I do this? What time should I post? What time should I do this? And I'm also saying no for those people. Because if I don't say no, I'm just in the majority now, and the majority say yes, especially to the big companies. I know the majority don't say no to like smaller places, but you'd be hard pressed to find some content creators, yo, that say no to the big companies. And it's crazy because, like I said, I know people in the makeup industry that are content creators. I know people in the cooking industry that are content creators. I know people in the automobile industry that are content creators. And it doesn't matter whether the company reaching out to them wants to give them a product for $20 or wants to give them a product for $100 or $300. The conversation always starts off with them is, what are your rates? It's like only in the action figure community, that is not even a question. That is laughable to a lot of these companies. And hey, and if the companies are not going to pay you, because like I said, companies don't pay me, but that's why I'm super selective on the stuff that I take, because it has to be stuff that I'm interested in. That's why you guys don't see a review for every classified figure on my channel, because I'm not as excited about every single classified figure as maybe one before it. You guys don't see every single review of every Valiverse figure on my channel. Why? Because I'm not super excited about every single thing that this company puts out. I just can't be. Like, I don't think it's realistic for me personally. I worked at a comic book store for years of my life. Then I began to own that comic book store for years of my life. And I said, hey, I'm getting in a ton of product every week. I can just make reviews for all of this stuff. Guys, no lie, I wanted to jump off of a bridge, because when I first started, it was like, yeah, I can start reviewing things just because we're getting them into the store. It's basically costing me nothing. I get exposure, I build my audience, and I quickly realized, oh my God, I am not happy reviewing things that I basically have no attachment to. Like, I couldn't do it. I know there's some channels that can do it. There's some channels that's literally all about reviews, and reviews for everything from an action figure to a cell phone. I can't do it. I cannot sit back but I also try to make my reviews different than everybody else's. Like, I try to have more than just me moving a figure around for 20 minutes, and I try to do more. And maybe that's why, because I'm trying to do more, that I burn myself out so quickly. But before we even keep going, because I have a few more topics and key points, key notes that I want to speak on. Shout out to Disavowed. We got Disavowed in the house right now. PA represent. Facts. Facts. That's all it always is with me. It's always New York and PA. I never really represent Jersey or nothing like that because I don't really spend a lot of time in Jersey. My time is in PA and New York. Um, let's see what's going on real fast. Okay, let's address some of these super chats. This is a good one. Shout out to Razel or Rizal. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, man. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. And he said, I hope to see more Mythic Legions videos. Dude, I hope so too. You see those two? Yeah, right here. Mythic Legion shelf, Mythic Legion shelf, Mythic Legion shelf. I hope so too, but I'm so damn selective with my Mythic Legions. And to be 100% honest, I'm excited for Savage Crucibles because I feel like Savage Crucibles is taking Mythic Legions where Mythic Legions should have been as far as articulation. A lot of Mythic Legions fans might attack me for it, but at the end of the day, Mythic Legions figures do not have articulation like that. Like they're literally still using articulation from 10 years ago. Detail, they're amazing. Sculpt, they're amazing. But just when it comes to articulation, that don't look for articulation that much when it comes to Mythic Legions. I'm not saying they don't have none. They have decent articulation, but the main point is the articulation is like 10 years outdated. But the figures still look so beautiful. I'm waiting on the skeleton wave to come in because I really want that skeleton horse as well as some of the other figures in that skeleton wave. They look so damn beautiful, man. But shout out to Raziel or Razel for that super chat. I appreciate it, man. And another super chat from Shiny Toy Robots. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, man, I'm glad I could catch the stream today. I would like to say that it's getting to the point where I mainly buy imports and third party over domestic products because of these price increases. Oh, that's a good point. And I see a lot of people, with Hasbro and the bigger companies slowly inching their way up to the $40 price point. It's like, dude, why not go with SH Figure Arts? Even if you're going to drop another 20, 30, or maybe another $40. My point is, I'd rather pay $80 for a figure that I know I'm not going to replace in a year versus pay $40 when I know that they're probably just going to repaint it in a year or two, and then I'm going to have to buy that one as well too. I'd rather pay the $80 for that Mayfex or $100 for that perfect like standalone figure. I'd rather just do that. But yeah, I'm there with you, man. I basically started to get a lot of imports too. That's why you guys see me talk about 5K toys a lot. And I'm gonna get into 5K and other companies or toy distributors or toy stores, even if they're e-stores. I'm gonna get into them in a minute. But that's why you guys see me talk about 5K a lot, is because I've just been getting a lot of stuff from them. Like I pre-order, I pay for stuff for them. Sometimes I'm lucky and I'll get something early. But it's always stuff that's on my pre-order list that I wanted. But yeah, the prices are definitely messing a few things up, man. Thank you, Shiny Toy Robots, for that super chat. I appreciate it, man. And shout out to Jack Maddox. Says, say someone wanted to make a custom articulated ninja figure and send it to you. How would someone go about doing that? I gotta set up a PO box, man. I definitely have to set up a PO box. I'm just not rushing, and the reason I'm not rushing, I know a lot of other content creators that have PO boxes, is because I kind of feel in debt sometimes when somebody sends me something, and I don't want to just put my PO box out there for anybody or a bunch of people to start sending me stuff monthly, because then I'm gonna feel like I owe them some type of shout out or some type of, and I don't want to feel that way. Like I feel like I'm just happy for my Ninja Clan members. Like joining the channel supports me a lot, so I'm just happy with that. Like I kind of feel guilty when it's not a big company sending me something, because I'm like, damn, this is a person that's actually sending me something or sent me some art. But I've had somebody make me, shout out to Tony Robles, but I had somebody make me a figure before that I literally keep right there. But he gave it to me at a convention. So I'm usually at conventions. I believe I'm going to be at a convention on the 4th. So I'm usually at conventions. One of the moderators will put the link. Hopefully my girl will put the link to the convention that we'll be at on the 4th in the chat, because I don't want to say it's in one place and then it's not. But usually right now, conventions are the best way to go to get a hold of me personally or physically, or hand me something, or to just chat and talk about it. Usually conventions, that's where someone gave it to me before, but I know I have to set up the PO box. It's getting to the point where A lot of people are asking me like, hey, can I send you something? And even if it's not an action figure, like let's say it's art, but what you're talking about is a custom action figure. That's art. That takes time. Like I definitely value anybody putting in time. But even if it's art drawn on a piece of paper or whatever, like that's cool, man. Like Dave from Display Model Behaviors, he used to have a bunch of artwork behind him of like stuff that his people drew for him, and I thought that was so beautiful. Like that's so nice. So I should definitely just set up my PO box already. That's something that I have to get on. And when I do, of course, you'll definitely know about it, Jack. Thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. And real quick, shout out to Art G, man. Yeah, man. Time is a big factor in making video. All depends on how you produce and your style. I appreciate those that take the time to edit their vids. This means a lot coming from Art because guys, he's posting all the time. Like this is a content creator that's posting all the time, that's out in the field doing toy hunts all the time, similar to Disavowed. Like these guys, it costs them gas, it costs them time, and then even after they spend the gas and the time, they got to come home and they're editing for, I'm going to at least assume, I might be wrong, at least an hour or two. Like that's the minimum, and that's not even including rendering the video down and then having to publish it to YouTube and go through all the copyright stuff through YouTube. That might take another hour. So especially with the lengthy videos, like this stuff takes time, man, and it makes me sad that I see so many content creators not value that time, because the companies that are trying to work with us, or now especially the companies that I find myself reaching out to me, they really don't care. Like the second you tell them no, or the second you have some type of standards, or you have a question, or you try to debate with them, or basically negotiate with them on anything, they automatically withdraw. And I can't necessarily blame them. I understand why they do, because of the way that things were set up before me, man. And the way that things were set up before me was not good for customers, not good for content creators. It's like we're not allowed to negotiate. We're not allowed. The fact that, like I said, people had to send items back. Now, that doesn't apply for everything. I don't mind sending an expensive sample back. I don't mind, but I'm talking about a $24.99 figure. You guys will never, ever see me review a classified figure, or well, Hasbro's out the question. Hasbro wouldn't work with me anyway. I got too many. I wouldn't let them do what they wanted to do. I wouldn't let them run my channel. But let's say Valiverse or Cesray or companies that have worked with, it's like they're never going to send me something that I have to send back. You guys will never see that on my channel. I think that is absolutely crazy, like absolutely wild. And it sucks because even if we're talking about a sample, even if we're talking about like a product sample that's 90% done or whatever, something that is tangible and durable enough to be reviewed, it's like, dude, at the end of the day, this is still a $24.99 product. Like, why don't you let that content creator keep that one sample? Like, that's something that I'm sure they'll cherish. They'll know it's like more like of a prototype. That's something they will definitely like to have, I'm sure. But they got to send it back, like to Hasbro. They got to send it back to Hasbro, and that is wild to me. Never gonna happen. And I love a lot of Hasbro products. Like I picked up a few Marvel Legends. I'll talk about that in a private video. But I love a lot of Hasbro products. But the way that these companies do stuff, it is not beneficial. It is not. It's not good for the customer or other content creators, and it's wild to me when I see content creators defend this $6+ billion company that could care less about them. Like, and when I say me versus the toy company, another thing that's really annoying is, I don't know if you guys can agree, because this doesn't affect just me or content creators. This affects everybody. The biggest toy companies still want to pretend that their main audience is children. They still want to pretend that adult collectors are not the lifeline, the blood, the heart, the brain, just the total lifeline of their damn basically business, of all their products. If every adult collector stopped collecting Marvel Legends, it'd be dead tomorrow. I can't. How many? Put in the chat. How many times have you guys been in Target and you seen a kid get excited about Marvel Legends, or you seen a kid get excited about G.I. Joe Classified? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen at all, but we cannot base the rules of the majority on the minority. We can't do that. We can't, use something that's an exception. I'm saying majority of collectors that are keeping these lines and these businesses alive, as far as in the collecting space for action figures, majority of it is adults. And a lot of these companies still want to pretend and still talk about, oh, well, child safety, or, we can't show cleavage because of this, or we can't. Bro, it is hilarious. It is crazy to me that they're still allowed to play pretend to that level. That shit is crazy. I was talking about that earlier on Chad's podcast. I snuck in there. I didn't advertise to anybody I was going to be there because I didn't know if I was going to make it on time. Shout out to Chad. Shout out to Laser Pants. But I snuck into his podcast, and it was a chill ass time. And he was just talking about HasLabs and crowdfunding in general, and he was going, memory lane and just showing up a lot of different stuff. But it was such a goddamn chill time. Hopefully my girl puts the link in, or one of the moderators puts the link in for Chad's video, his YouTube channel, and that video, that live that I was a part of at around 7 o'clock today. And it was such a chill time. But that's a topic that we spoke about there, which was, yo, these companies still play pretend that like the majority of their audience or the majority of who they're selling to is children. I don't know any. Like I don't know any. And even when I think about my siblings and my younger brothers, or they didn't start to even consider Marvel Legends until they were at least 15, 16. We are bordering out the borderlines of children now at that point. We're talking about young adults, 17, 18, 19. Like, come on, man. Like, but if you let Hasbro tell it, or, a lot of these other companies, and it depends on the department that we're talking about. If we're talking about Barbies, sure. Mattel and certain dinosaurs with play features, and sure, children. But there's an action figure channel. I'm talking about action figures. I'm talking about what they label as collectibles or high-end collectibles or highly articulated action figures. They're not kids. They're definitely not kids. And it's crazy and that's the reason that a lot of these big companies shy away from female figures, let alone female figures with cleavage, or female figures with curves, or female figures. If she's not wearing like a full bodysuit, you'll be hard pressed to find her as a retail release, man. Completely hard pressed. Yo, shout out to everybody. We got over 300 people in the chat right now. Just watching. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's hard pressed, man. But when I'm speaking on companies, there are companies that, like the big ones, they definitely take advantage. But then there are smaller companies that, just like there's a lot of content creators nowadays that are trying to do things differently and not be a slave to the big companies. There's a lot of companies on the come up, like Ramen Toys, like Valorverse. Like, there's a lot of companies that are on the come up that it seems like they are listening to the fans. It seems like, they do care about the reputation of their product. They do care to negotiate. Shout out to Ace from Ramen Toys again, because this is someone, look at Ace's catalog. He's put out tons of products. And a lot of the products that he put out, they're not for me. Doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just, maybe I don't collect that line. I'm not attached to that IP, or whatever the case is. It's just not for me. But when Ace hit me up in regards to the car, and he's like, hey, obviously this is something in your warehouse. Would you? He asked me. He didn't tell me, would you like to take a look at it? Would you like to? Sure. And that's something huge. Like, so hopefully I do get to take a look at the Ramen Racer, because I have some on pre-order. Like, I'm buying some. I'm supporting it. I want to get some. And hopefully they're good. Like, hopefully that car and that sample that I get in, hopefully it'll be amazing. I don't doubt that it will be, because I've seen his other products. I've seen it in person at conventions. It looks amazing. But hopefully it is. And if it's not, then it won't be on my channel, because I'm not here to hurt him or hurt any brand. But I hope that it's amazing. I'm looking forward to actually getting the ones that I'm going to get. But taking someone like him or Valor, for example, like those guys, they reach out to content creators and they don't have a long ass list of stipulations. Hey, send me the video before you publish it. I want to see what you say about it before anybody else gets to see what you say about it. And you can only publish the video if you approve it. And guys, it's crazy. Like, I've worked with, because I've said no, but I've had people reach out to me that had those requests, and they're not crazy for having them. I understand why. It's their brand. It's their business. It's their baby. I get it. But just because I'm reviewing your one product does not give you the right to control how I do things on my channel or what I want to do on my channel. It's not working that way. But they look at me like I have 5 heads, or they quickly withdraw from the conversation because everybody before me always said yes to them. And that shit hurts. Like, I'm not saying like it hurts me personally. I'm just saying it hurts everybody. It hurts the customers. It hurts the content creators. It hurts your audience. It hurts your relationship with your audience as a content creator. Like, that shit definitely hurts, man. Shout out to, like I said, over 300 people here right now. I appreciate that a ton. And I'm just ranting. I'm just talking to you guys about the shit that I'm passionate about. And I definitely appreciate that. Let me bring this up real fast. Shout out to Mr. Grandeur. He said, Lil Johnny don't want female toys, but I do. Yo, you'd be surprised, man. Maybe, some of the little Johnnies nowadays, they got Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty looking super bad. So, they might want that female, that female toy. But on average, yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree with you. That majority of them don't. They don't want. But yeah, the adult collectors, we do want female action figures, and we want curvy female action figures. Why does she always have to be like a surfboard? Nothing wrong with that, right? All different types of body types out there, but we do want female action figures. And it's like the big companies, especially when we see like Hasbro do crowdfunding, and they're like, oh well, we can't give you Slave Leia because of, she's very revealing, or other female characters where they have too much cleavage, and it's like, yo bro, like, who do you think you're selling to? Especially on a crowdfunding thing, you think a kid is asking his parent to swipe the card for $300+ on whatever crowdfunding project this is? No, these are adults. These are all adults, man. And it's crazy to me, how these companies get away with it, and they're going to continue to get away with it as long as a lot of the content creators want to play pretend, and a lot of customers want to basically not support them. But a lot of customers, it's crazy to me how many people defend the practices of these major corporations. Like, bro, no matter how much you defend them, they're not going to invite you to dinner, no matter how much you defend them. But thank you for that super chat, Johnny. I appreciate it. And Eric Alfred Abel he's already a member, man. Thank you for being a member for a month. He said, the only figures that anyone kid or adult has around me are the ones I I bought them. Are you going to Maryland Toy Expo? I believe that is. I think that is the name of the one that's on the 4th. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm sure my girl will comment in the chat if that is it, but I'm pretty sure I will be at that one. And yo, if you're there, or if you can happen to make it out, stop by, say what's up, bro. Like, I would love to talk in person. That's if you can make it out. Don't go out your way, because this is every year, and hopefully things keep going as they've been going, and nothing crazy or bad happens. And if you can't make it this year, next year, or in a few months, because these conventions are like, they're popping up everywhere, man. I think a lot of people are using conventions as like get quicks, like rich schemes and shit. But shout out to Eric Alfred Abel using his member chat, man. Thank you for being a member. And just some other comments that I starred that I thought were pretty good. Shout out to Unk, man. Unk is in the house. I love his hat, man. I was trying to find a hat like that for one of my action figures. I was trying to make a custom Raiden action figure like Kit Bashin, and I cannot find a damn hat like that anywhere. Unk said, crazy how a lot of people forget they want to give us less for more. 100%. And they actually believe that they don't, or they actually believe, hey, they're being 100% honest, or these are how friends, right? It's wild, bro. Like, how many Barney episodes did you guys grow up on? Like, I mean, I watched Barney too, but then at a certain age, I realized like the world wasn't rainbows and sunshines and like butterflies and shit. But it's crazy how many of these grown ass men that are only customers, they'll defend and support the practices of these billion-dollar corporation. It's crazy. Like, shout out to Unk. Give me 1 second, guys. We got a good question from Sir T Baggins. I love that name. Shout out to your question. Do you consider a small toy company a true company, third party, or otherwise? How to gauge your views on them, and have any changed in a positive or negative view from when they got big? When they got big. Damn, that is I don't know. It depends what you mean by when they got big, because I remember it's so crazy to me when I would see videos of like Vala at a stand with no product, to see what he was able to make now, to where like there's lines out the damn door. So if you want to like consider that to be big, I think that's a huge drastic change. But I still wouldn't say he made it, or like he's, he doesn't even act like he's like up there with the big dogs. And no, he's still on a come up, but he's doing really damn well for himself, especially compared to where he started. I can't really think of a lot of other companies that I remember seeing, or I remember when they were smaller. If you could think of any, or comment on them, I'll say what I think about them. But I can't think of a lot of companies that were kind of small or big. But I will say one thing, especially with Ramen Toys getting into the diorama game now, man. Holy shit. Like, if ramen successfully gets into the diorama game, it that that shit is gonna be a game changer, like a huge game changer. If ramen gets into the successfully gets into the dial, like puts out some good quality stuff, which I hope that he does. A lot of his other stuff just it does seem like good quality, but when I'm thinking about third party companies or otherwise, and I can't really think of any that I seen from like Inception. Mythic Legions was another one. I remember when Mythic Legions were way smaller than what they are now. And for the most part, it seems like they're still the same. Like any companies that I could think of, for the most part, it seems like they're still the same. Obviously, it gets harder to interact with your audience the bigger that you get, but it seems like majority of them are all still the same. Another question, we got a question from Pokey87. Articulated Ninja, do the ladies have any interest in joining you on these streams? We love you. We love them. We all love. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it a lot. And they do, but then at the same time, they don't care to be behind the camera. So I'm sure I could convince them maybe with their avatars to like have the audio and but they're also not the type of women that love posting selfies on social media. Like their personal social media accounts, and it's not like they're doing duck faces every day and posting to the world, taking selfies of their food and shit. They're not really like that because I'm not like that. So they're not really like that. I think I would be hard pressed to be in a relationship with someone, let alone two women that love to be like spotlight, center of attention on social media, taking selfies 24/7. And that shit, I don't think that really be for me. So I'm pretty sure I could get them audio wise. It's just a matter of getting them to want to be in front of the camera because they really don't care to be. Like, they like cataloging action figures. They help me when it comes to the live and shit, but their passion is really one of them collects pops and NECA figures, and then another one does like anything that she thinks looks good. DC figures, especially old DC Universe classic figures. But yeah, it's just they're not really interested in being the like I guess the star of the show. They're not interested in it. But hopefully one day I could get them on, at least audio wise, to speak for the female perspective as a collector, because I feel like that would be an interesting topic. Like I feel like people would want to see that, especially if we could get multiple women on that show or on that podcast to talk from the female perspective of collecting, because I feel like that's an opinion or that's an audience that really doesn't have a voice in the collecting community, as you know, some people like to call it. So that would be pretty cool. Shout out to Pokey, man. Oh man, look at who we got in the house. I don't know how. Aren't you supposed to? Weren't you supposed to be over on Chad's, man? What are you doing over here? Laser pants, man. Shout out to you. He said in the meantime, you got shirtless dudes action figures all the time. It's a double standard. 100% it's a double standard. But I heard, I don't know what country it was. I don't know if it was like, I don't know what country it was, but supposedly topless women have been approved over there. Like whether every public beach, public pool, if a man can have his shirt off, I heard that women can now be topless over there too. I thought that was crazy, man. I'm not trying to get in trouble and say that like I want a vacation over there right away, but eventually that would be cool to be on a bucket list to go to a place like that, right? Like, but yeah, the double standards, they're crazy. Shout out to the legendary White Potato. Speaking of another one, damn. So I guess they ended their chat already. It's Chad, aka who will forever be articulated Chad to me with the $5 super chat. Thank you, man. He just said ninja, man. So when I got to do that shit to him now, but I'm going to put articulated Chad because he's always going to be articulated Chad to me. God, I'm pretty sure I put the link in the comment section to go check out his live that I was on for a little bit. It was such a chill damn time. And I want to see how it ended because I didn't get to see how it ended. And the conversation was actually just starting to heat up around the time that I had to dip out. Shout out to Chad. And then also shout out to Scott Hughes. I appreciate this guy a lot. He said the problem with the industry is the lack of toy stores. Back when True and KB were around, KB Toys, you had innovation and new ideas. Visionaries, Street Sharks, Mask, etc. Now it's only rehash of old stuff. I think I think that's true. And that doesn't just apply to action figures. I mean, look at the movie industry in general. Like we're getting a lot of whole, oh, let's remake this movie from 1970, 1980, or let's, remaster this or rework this. Just in general, like Scott said, it's just there's a lack of originality and visionaries, and we need new IPs. I don't want to just keep getting remakes of the same old IPs. I would love to get Street Shark action figures. Like that would be beautiful, but then at the same time, I would also like some new action figures like what Memory Toys is doing with the bears. Like I would love for them to be Street Sharks, sure, but we can also get just a totally new IP. That would be nice too. But I gotta agree with Scott here. Yeah, like we definitely have a lack of visionaries and just originality in general. And it's definitely affecting the collecting community because everything we collect is based off of media. It's based off of TV shows. It's based, and the comic book industry is dying. Like I know a lot of comic book fans that don't want to admit it and don't, but the comic book industry is dying, like capital dying. And I understand why they can't compete with video games. They can't compete with certain medias and stuff. So we can't be like, oh yeah, well we love action figures. Like I was never big on comics, but look at all the action figures I have. But that was from media. That was from Saturday morning cartoons. Batman the animated series, Gargoyle, Static Shock, all these shows. Well, I grew up and I'm like, holy shit, like I like action figures, and if it's a good looking action figure, I'm gonna get it. I don't care about the IP, but I'm not big on comics. But it's, and I thought that was like a weird thing, but nah, man, like it's not just me, and comics in general are just dying. Like it is what it is. Shout out to Scott for that. And then I want to give a big shout out to Elizabeth. She just became a channel member. I definitely appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Make sure that you stay for after this if you have any questions or anything that I don't get to address here, because the chat does move pretty fast at times. Make sure that you stay for the private show, because we'll be all the time. We always do a private show for all of the members after the public show. And some of y'all questions get a little crazy in there, so you guys force me to become a little bit more explicit when it comes to the private shows. But the private show will be right after this. Elizabeth, hopefully you have the time to stay for that. And if you can't, at least catch the replay, man. But thank you for becoming a channel member. And shout out to Jelly Jam, who is another member, been a member for a month. Thank you so much. Speaking of curvies, any chance you might add a curvy fig lookout section to your news vids? Easy to miss new ones coming out. Yo, I'm gonna have to. I don't know if you checked 5K recently, but like there's been a lot of imports that are starting to give us more and more curvy figures. Granted, a lot of them have like this anime look to them and shit, but hey, that's okay. You can always kit bash the head, pop the head off if you don't want to, and you still have an amazing curvy ass body. So that would be a good idea. I do the cosplay weather girl, but that's like of cosplaying real girls. But that would be definitely a cool idea. I definitely have to keep that in mind. Thank you for that idea, Jelly Jam. I appreciate it, and thank you for being a member. And then we got, thank you, man. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I like that picture too. That is pretty damn dope. But KLVSD, thank you for becoming a member. And remember, make sure that you stay after the private, because we're going to be, after the public show, because we're going to have the private show. And then also Big Bacon. Shout out to Big Bacon. I'm never going to forget, or I'm always going to remember. He gave me one of those fun, like those amazing ass lines, which was four times the size, 8 times the price, man. Shout out to Big Bacon, and thank you for gifting one membership, man. Gifted memberships definitely helps. I appreciate you helping the Articulated Ninja Clan grow, man, big time. And then let me just bring this up real fast. I thought that this was a good question. From Celtic_99. Thoughts about NECA Predators? They're my favorite line to collect. Bro, I'm looking over. I got to look over real fast because I have a bunch of them right here. I like them. For a while, I felt like their QC was getting bad, but then at least some of the more recent ones that I picked up, they've been really good. Like, I feel like they stepped it up in a lot of areas. I didn't get the Prey one yet. Like, I've seen some people posting on Instagram and YouTube that they got the larger deluxe size Prey one in. I did not get that one in yet. Comment in the chat if you did and if you think that one is good, Celtic, but I didn't get that one in yet. It looks kind of glossy and I'm not a fan of that, but other than that, the figure actually does look good. I like the NECA Predators. Hopefully they're not going to be on a downhill again as far as QC is concerned, but I definitely do like the NECA Predators. And one more, Emilio Rosas, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Didn't say nothing, but regardless, thank you for the super chat. If you did mean to say something though, then just comment it in a regular chat, and hopefully my girl will find it. I don't want you to have to pay for another super chat again if you messed up or anything like that. But thank you for supporting the channel. I definitely do appreciate it. And we got KLVSD again. Now, a channel member. Been watching your channel for a while, and I finally joined. Have you ever collected 1/6 scale figures? No, I have not, but I often catch myself admiring them because of the detail. Like, they're so big, you can see so much. Like, and you know what they say, the bigger the better, right? So I definitely catch myself admiring them, but a lot of the times what stops me too is that damn price tag. Yo, like, they get pricey, man. Regardless what we're talking about, whether we're talking about hot toys or any type of the larger figures, even if they're imports or imported companies, and they can get pretty pricey, but they look so damn nice, especially for photography, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for that super chat. And Elizabeth for another super. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I'll be bouncing in and out, but I'll be sure to listen to the replay for what I miss. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Ligon Drago says, Yo Ninja, you have any new thickies in your collection? Not as of late. Like I said, 5K did post some up recently, but no, not really. Not really as of late. I have to get some, but I've been slacking. Work has been killing me lately, and I'm trying to edit at the same time, and it takes me like I said, 7 to 8 hours to make one video, assuming that it's an actual action figure review. Sometimes talking pieces can take that long too. It just depends what I put in them, but it takes me a while to make the video. So like, I am swamped. I got to get out there. I'm interested to see what new thickies are out there in the wild, man. But I'm gonna put everything else. I have a few things more starred and more super chats to get to, but I just want to put that on hold and just continue on with the topic, which is, working with smaller companies, or if people have any questions regarding, the companies that are out there, from the big to the small. But it's such a different world dealing with smaller companies that actually do care about their like customer base, or actually do care about their relationship with content creators, and what the content creators are saying about them and everything else. Like, but the guys that have come before me, I say guys, I'm sure there were some women too. Shout out to Laura Legends. I love Laura Legends channel. But majority of the guys that have come before me, they put these companies in a position where there's like no negotiation at all. And that really sucks, on top of the fact that they'll defend billion-dollar corporations that don't care. Like, why would you even position yourself to defend a billion-dollar corporation that doesn't care about you? I don't know, man. It baffles me, the idea or the concept of me doing that. And I say, if you have to worry about giving a company criticism, even if they sent you some free shit, if you got to worry about giving them some type of slack or some type of criticism, and chances are they're not the company you needed to build a relationship with anyway. Like, I tried to make it constructive criticism, but I extremely criticized Valorverse in the beginning, regarding them not including a gun, and any QC issues that they had in Wave 1, and it's that I thought I thought that man was crazy for hitting me up. Like, literally, I thought he was crazy. I remember laughing with my girl and being like, yo, what is this guy thinking? Like, because he knows if he sends me some shit and it's some bad shit, I'm gonna call it out for I've already had been like extremely critical on it. But that's what confidence is. When you have a good product, and his thing was like, yo, we definitely made changes. We improved, take a second look, take another look at us. You'll see the improvements over time, and you won't be able to deny them. And that's exactly what happened. I wasn't able to deny the improvements that came over time with him in that line. But you want to talk about somebody that's confident in what they bring to the table. Yeah, that's somebody that's confident. But I feel that way about especially any business owners that reach out to me, because they know that I might be kind of rough on them. I'm not going to be as rough as some others, but they know that I'm going to be kind of rough on them, especially if I'm publishing a video. Otherwise, I'm just not even going to make the video. Like, if I don't like it at all, I'm not even going to make the video. I have sent tons of stuff back. Or, like, let's say 5K Toys, the 5K Toys, they see my pre-order list, obviously. So they're like, hey, we got an early, early that's on your pre-order list, we can send it to you. So I don't mind when they do that. Or if he throws something in there for quote unquote free, there have been times I've been like, well, I didn't ask for this, so I'm not making a video on this. I'm not gonna make a video on this, and I'm not gonna post it. And he's totally cool with it. Like he's like, yeah, no worries, man. I just thought that you would like it. And I'm like, thank you. Like I appreciate it. If I do like it, I'll post about it. But if I don't, like, don't. I feel like a lot of companies and a lot of places they do stuff like that, but then it comes with an invisible expectation, a non-spoken agreement or an expectation. Like, hey, if we send you something, you better post it or you better talk about it. And dude, if you're gonna work with any companies that feel that way or they're doing those types of things, that's like taking advantage of you and your platform or whatever, chances are you don't need to be working with them. Period. Like you don't need to be working with them anyway. Because I get a lot of questions. Like people ask me, like, hey, how do I get a company to reach out to me, or how you don't let them reach out to you. You don't need to chase anybody. Just try to bring value to your channel. You don't need to chase anybody for anything, man. But it's crazy. That's probably the hardest thing for me, trying to work with any damn companies, or trying to negotiate. I should say trying to negotiate with any damn companies is, majority of these companies, they're not like Ace from Ramen Toys. Majority of these companies, they're not like Bobby Vala. They're not. They're big wigs, and they contact you and they're just like, hey, we have this thing. If we send you a free one, will you do a video on it? Well, there's levels to, what if I don't like it? What you're saying, this thing, do I get to choose what thing, or do I get to choose? And a lot of the times there's like no room for negotiation, especially with these companies that are, on a higher pedestal, or there's no room for negotiations at all. And that sucks, man. Like I want things to change. And like I said, even with the content creators that I don't always agree with their takes or whatever, I don't want them being taken advantage of. Like I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate when I watch the Hasbro team in an interview, and I watched them in an interview and they put the content creator on the spot to try to vouch for the product during the interview. I hate that. I hate that so much, because whether I like the content creators or not, it doesn't matter. It's like the company is clearly trying to use your audience and trying to get you to validate this item that clearly you don't feel that much validation for. You don't want to validate, and that's basically what it is. And it just, to me, it should be a business transaction. If a company's reaching out to you, make sure that it's just as beneficial to you as it is to them. And a lot of the guys that came before me, it's really not beneficial for you, bro, to spend the next 4 hours reviewing a figure that you got for free. So what? You saved $24.99, but now you got 4 hours of your life that's gone. You didn't even get to select the figure. You just had to be happy about whatever they sent you. And that overall, that is not good for you. That's not good for your brand. That's not good for any of those things. So I would just want content creators, especially in this space, to just have more standards. Because like I said, in every other damn space on YouTube, makeup, food, automobiles, weapons, like in every other space of YouTube, it's like companies know, hey, we can't walk all over these content creators. But for some reason in that action figure community, nah, bro, they be walking right over 24/7, man. It's wild to me. It's wild. Let me get to some of these super chats real fast. This one from Just One Joe Bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I know you have your custom Cobra thickies, but how did Hasbro do with the Valkyries in your opinion? Did you pick up any? How many, if so? I didn't personally pick any up, but I was lucky enough for my brother to pick me, because he got some, so he sent some to me because I wasn't rushing to get them. I said, hey, it's a 2-pack. It's going to wind up on clearance, right? Just like the ninjas on Amazon, they're going to wind up on clearance eventually, and I'm going to be able to get multiple when they do. But I got some from him, and I actually liked them a lot. Like, I didn't have a lot of complaints. They're just tiny. Like, I feel like over time, Classified is getting tinier and tinier. I'm not sure why, and maybe that's just how I feel about it. I ran into the same issue when it came with Grunt, but I just felt like they were kind of tiny. But aside from them being tiny, them things were beautiful, man. And the women had thighs. They had like a small waist with some like, I get it, body standards or whatever. I get it, but they just look nice. Like, I couldn't even lie, like they looked pretty good. I want to get like a video up with those blue female troopers from Classified and the Valiver's blue female troopers together, because I have both of them in now. Finally, I've just been so hard pressed on time, but I definitely want to get that up because I want to share my opinion about, how nice I thought those blue troopers were. I wasn't a fan of the tan at all. Like, I hate the tan, and I'm pretty sure when those figures were first shown off, it looked like gold. It didn't look like tan, but I was not a fan of the tan. I hate the tan. That's the main or the only thing that I hate about the figure is the damn tan color, and I'm just not a fan of that at all. But the one that's all black, beautiful, beautiful. If I could get more all black ones without having to spend money on tan ones, I definitely would, man. But thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. And then we got a $20 whole.
Damn!
Shout out to Ramlo Chan or Ramlo Chan. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. I apologize, but loving the live stream format, Ninja. Hope you and the Find My Figures ladies are doing well. Applaud your commitment to providing fair, honest, and objective reviews above all else. Yo, that means a lot, man. Not the super chat means a lot. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I know everybody works hard for their money, but that definitely means a lot because a lot of people wouldn't think so. A lot of people like, oh, he got something early in. Oh, he's a shiller. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking so many L's behind the scenes and I'm saying no to 8 out of 10 things that get offered to me. And it's like, but you can't satisfy everybody. To some people, it's always going to be, you're this or you're that. And that's fine. Everybody's always going to have an opinion. But I definitely appreciate that, Ram. Just the whole idea that, you see that I'm trying to provide fair and honest, objective reviews. And then at the same time, if I know it's something that's not really good, if it's from a major company, I'll make a whole video trashing it. But if it's not from a major company, guys, I don't want to hurt any of these, Kickstarters or things that are on the ground level trying to grow. So I just won't even talk about it. Like I won't even bring it up. I won't talk about it because I don't want to hurt anybody like that. And I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me or one of my friends or whatever. I just like do in those cases, I say if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But I know people that literally apply that. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all for $1 billion corporation. That shit is crazy. Like, don't say nothing about the $1 billion corporation that's clearly just been doing whatever they want and taking advantage in some obvious ass ways. That shit is crazy, man. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. And then we have another super chat from Mr. Grander. Show some love and super chat your questions, peeps. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And then once again, if you are a channel member, I'm sure there's a link in the description or whatever, or in the chat that, will link you to being a channel member. If you are, when we do the private lives, I try to answer every single question there. Because sometimes, guys, this chat moves super fast. And I'm still like getting the hang of all this live streaming shit. And the chat moves super fast. So sometimes I can't keep up with every question. Though I do, without a doubt, get to every damn super chat. And if I do miss a super chat, I'm going to bring that super chat up on the next damn show that we have. But thank you, Mr. Grander. Cosmic Gladiator, thank you for the super chat and helping me out. I appreciate it. The topless country is Germany, I think. Well, man, it's looking like we might have to take a trip to Germany. That's how it's looking, bro. Like, and I'm not worried about it. Like, if my ladies want to be topless over there too and we're on the beach, hey, they could do so. That's fine too. I get to enjoy the view from all different areas. So, I looks like I'm gonna have to go to Germany soon. Shout out to you for that super chat, though, man. Thank you. I just want to give a quick shout out to 78 points of articulation. Nice to hear you break it down. Some thirsty people out there that get salty fast. Yes, man. But it depends. Sometimes I feel if they are content creators, I feel like they need it for the views because if they don't put my name in the title or they don't put Valiverse in the title, they get no damn views anyway. So I feel like they need to say and do certain things and put certain things out there because they need the attention, they need the views. But then some people that aren't even content creators, yes, they get salty super fast. Like, and I don't get it. And that's what, like, in a way, part of me feels bad. Like, I feel bad for the guys that defend Hasbro. Like, I know I talk a lot of shit about the Hasbro's guys, but let's be honest. Like, I feel bad for the guys that are defending this billion-dollar corporation because I see just such a one-sided relationship. And that shit is sad. Like, that shit is sad. It's like, it's kind of like guys that still believe Santa is real. Like, I'm trying to interact with another grown-ass man. Chances are he's way older than me. And for whatever reason, he thinks it's beneficial to defend the billion-dollar corporation or to make excuses for them or to try to lean reasoning more towards their side. I feel bad, especially when they're not content creators, because at least a content creator, you could say that they're a show, right? You could say that they're getting certain perks or certain benefits behind the scenes or whatever the case is. And I just say, well, I hope those benefits are good, man. I hope those benefits are worth selling out your audience, selling out your respect or your validation in the community. I hope whatever benefits they are, I don't care what they are, I just hope that they're good. I hope that they're worth it. But it genuinely does make me sad, 78, to see some of these guys that do get salty and then they wind up debating with me about, why do I keep complaining that Hasbro's crowdfunding, or why do I keep, it's just, it is definitely sad. And like I said, I complain and I say no I just want things to change. And I know nothing is going to change if everybody continues to say yes, from content creators to customers. If everybody continues to say yes, absolutely nothing changes. Actually, it just gets worse. It's not even that it doesn't change, because as it was brought up earlier, as Unc said, the companies, they want to do the bare minimum. They're trying to do the bare minimum and get away with that because that will max out profit margins. And I understand that that's business. I'm not complaining. They're only going to get away with what we allow them to get away with. So it's just shout out to 78 for that. That was definitely a good one. And then once again, Alex Rosado, man, thank you. I appreciate that with a $20 super chat.
Damn!
He said, we use the term AAR in the military, after action review. What we did good, stand out. What we did bad / improve, and then how to use the improves to be better. Smaller companies listen 100%. But it sucks that it has to be that way. That's what I'm saying. It sucks that it seems like only the smaller companies listening. And in one sense, it's good for the smaller companies, but then in another sense, it's bad because the bigger companies, imagine how much Hasbro can take over. If Hasbro actually started listening to their fans, stop acting like it was children buying their stuff, or the majority of their audience is children buying their stuff. If they started to actually try to give more to the collectors and respected more from the collectors. When I was on Chad's stream earlier, Laser Pants brought up the fact that they did throw in an extra tentacle with that Sentinel. I totally forgot about that. And I backed the Sentinel. And I totally forgot that they threw in an extra tentacle. And it's like, dude, why couldn't they throw in that extra head? Now I get it. 100, let's say 100 backers that were missed. That's $10,000 or $20,000. That is a penny in the bucket. A penny in the bucket for a $6 billion+ company. Why couldn't you just throw it in? Like, on top of the fact that, like I said, they worked at extremes. They said, hey, since you guys complained about crowdfunding figures, we're going to give you absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. And people praised them for it. Like, people said, hey, it's so great. That's why the price is so cheap. And I'm like, dude, they're working at extremes and the price is so cheap because they heard what you said, but they misheard what you said and ran with the shit. People don't mind there being figures. That's a great incentive, and it could be a great package deal for a lot of people. But not figures that people waited 10+ years for. Don't include those damn figures. Like, there's sometimes they include a figure and that figure makes sense with that campaign, and it's not a highly sought after or highly desirable figure, but it can still bring value to the campaign. But I 100% agree with you, Alex, man. Thank you for being a channel member, and thank you for that super chat. That's smaller companies do listen, and it's helping companies like Ramen Toys and Valorverse and a lot of these companies that are on the come up. It's helping them rise faster. And if the bigger companies start to like take notes and they realize, hey, this is how these smaller companies are coming up, I mean, they could do something about it just by listening too. But like, they don't listen. They hop on people's live streams and they try to like do these PR stunts and shit like that, and it's like, it didn't really help. It didn't really help. Like, it's not really helping if nothing changes at the ground level. But shout out to Alex for that super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Suka said, Ninja, just want to say thank you again for getting me and weapon with my Action Force basic figures. Okay. Ninja, I just want to say thank you for getting the basic weapon with the Action Force figures, man. I appreciate it, man, but it wasn't just, it was something that I genuinely felt like needed to happen, but it wouldn't even have happened if Vala was the type of guy to not listen to criticism. Like, I'm happy that he does, like, but it happened because, like, it's not even like I didn't even have to make multiple videos harping on it. Like, he heard it one time and maybe twice, and he was automatically like, yep, gotta change that shit. Like, that makes sense. That's logical. And he never tries to deny logic. Like, if something logically makes sense, he doesn't try to deny that shit, man. And he didn't try to push back or fight against it. He heard it. And even him, Ace, and there's a certain type of, I feel like it's a really masculine trait, right? To be able to hear something that you don't like, but still ask yourself, but is it true? Like, that's something that I had to learn how to do as I got older. It was like, when we're kids, it's like the second we're told no, or the second we hear something that we don't like, it's like, oh, throw a tantrum, and there's no truth in it at all. There's no validation. It's not true. And But I feel like as you mature, and for me, it represents a certain level of security, respect, and masculinity where it's like you can hear something, even if you're debating with your significant other, right? And she makes a good point. And her good point, maybe I didn't like her delivery, but is it true? So when Valor was able to do that, I was like, oh, I gotta give this guy his credit. Like he heard something that I didn't even necessarily try to word nicely. Like I wasn't worried about how I worded it at all. And even though I'm sure he didn't like hearing it, he did something about it. Like that shit is awesome. I see Ace do the same thing. Like he hears some criticisms and then he does something about it. And I'm like, yo, that's rare, man. But it's gonna be those companies. I'm so interested to see. Like I said, especially with Ramen Toys getting into goddamn dials. I'm so interested to see where they're gonna be at 5 years from now. I am super interested. You want to talk about companies that are on the come up and from Kickstarters to I am super, super interested to see. With Valorverse, Mythic Legions seems like they're only going to keep getting bigger, but I'm not even so much worried about them. I'm hoping Savage Crucible is good, right? Because it looks like Mythic Legions on steroids, to be honest, because they have good articulation, they have good paint apps. So I'm interested to see where Savage Crucible is going to be in 5 years, where Ramen Toys or Dio Ramen, as I should say, where they're going to be at in 5 years, or where Valor. I am super interested to see that shit, man. But I appreciate you thanking me, Suka, man. I definitely do. But I was just keeping it real, and it worked out in a positive way when everything was all said and done. And it wasn't all because of me; it was because of the way, guys like Vala and Ace and the way that they take criticism. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. A good question from Emilio. Just wanted to know if you're coming to Comic Con Tampa in February. Thank you. You're the first channel and only that I support. Yo, that means a lot, man. Thank you so much. And I'm sure my girl is looking. That literally looks like a baby version of our dog right now. So I'm sure she loves that. She loves your default photo, man. That is such a cute photo. I don't think I only make it to Florida. Like maybe I only make it out to Florida maybe once, maybe once or twice a year. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to go to that one at least this year. But now, at least you put it on the radar. Like I wonder how big that is. I never. Maybe I heard of it and it just escapes me because sometimes shit goes in one ear and out the other with me. But I definitely got to look into that because I would definitely be interested in going. Because sometimes when I go out there to visit older family members and it could get boring, you know what I'm saying? So I want something to do when I'm out there, and that definitely sounds like something that would be fun. But I appreciate everybody that stayed. We still got over 250 people, close to 300, an hour and 15 minutes in. All the channel members, please stay for the private show. This way I can get to whatever question you got there. There's no super chats there, and I stay for as long as I need to answer anybody's question that's supporting the damn channel. And it was like me talking about these companies. I don't like talking shit about smaller companies. Like I don't like hurting people's brands. Like I said, you guys know I'll just say nothing at all if I feel like I'm gonna hurt a smaller brand. But the big companies, and I wish more content creators would just keep it a buck. Like I wish more content creators would just call it for what it is. Not say, oh, that's a little bit pricey, or oh no, just call it for what it is, bro. Call it for what it is. It'd be beneficial for you in the long run. It'd be beneficial for your audience, for the way people view you, the way the respect that you garner in the community. Like I just wish more content creators would just call some bullshit. And it's fine for you to call some bullshit. Bro, if we were at the point where any company that I like, Jada Toys, I love Jada Toys. If we were at the point where Jada Toys was crowdfunding a car for $350, or crowdfunding a bare minimum blank buck figure like Giant Man for $200 plus, like, bro, I love what Jada's doing. I love their Street Fighter figures, but I'm sorry, like I'm gonna have to pull the bullshit card. Like it is what it is. It's nothing personal, and it's just I wish more content creators were willing to burn those damn bridges, or at least shake the bridge, shake the tree, shake the bridge a little bit. You don't gotta burn the whole damn bridge, but I wish they were willing to burn the bridge a little bit more, because these companies, they won't come to their defense. If I debate with another content creator and me and them are going, the company is not going to hit me up trying to defend them. They're not, especially if I start using evidence and multiple examples of how they're a sellout, or how, they basically, they're just pushing the company's agenda, and the company is going to stay absolutely silent and not care at all. And that they're not supposed to. They're the company. It's supposed to be, you're the content creator. You post what you like, you promote what you like, but some of these guys, I just feel like they don't want to call a spade, and that sucks. That sucks. And I don't have a specific person in mind when I'm saying this because so many damn creators fall under this umbrella. And I mentioned it before in my previous video where I said, yo, drama does not sell on YouTube. Listen to me, listen to me. If you're a drama channel, right, and you're watching this, whether you're watching it now or you're watching the damn replay, quickly try to find another way to bring value to your audience. Yeah, I can participate in drama videos. Yeah, if somebody comes for me and I have the time, I can make a nice, entertaining ass video breaking their dumbass logic down, right? But majority of my content, majority of the stuff on my channel is 80 to 90% positive. I'm not a drama channel. I just speak on real shit, and then everybody, oh, it's drama because nobody else is saying it. That's the problem right there. It's not really drama. I'm just calling a spade, and I'm just leaving it at that. But if you are a drama channel and you're watching this shit, bro, find another way to bring value to your channel, and chances are you can. And how long is it taking you to make those hit pieces or drama pieces, or to defend Hasbro? Or that shit is taking hours of your life, hours of your time. Just repurpose that for something else. Like, repurpose it for something good or something more positive, because there is no longevity. There's no longevity to being a damn drama channel on YouTube. Because like I said, it's like a car crash. People slow down to look. They don't want to stop to help. They don't want to be a part of the crash. They just slow down to look, and then they keep going. They don't subscribe. My biggest videos aren't drama videos. The videos where I get the most views, the most comments, the most engagement, they're not drama videos. They're videos are where I'm being positive. They're not hit pieces towards other people. They're not, it's not those videos. It's the positive videos. And if I wanted to be like every other content creator, I would just consistently always do positive stuff, or not call shit out, or worry about my bridges with other companies. But it sucks, man, that and at first in the beginning, I thought I was crazy, but I'm like, damn, the second I'm in talks with any company, and the second that I start to lay down my expectations, or, you know, the second that I say no to them when they say things like, hey, can we see the video before you publish it? Or can we, and I'm like, why? You asked me to give my opinion, and I'm not going to destroy your damn brand. Like, but if I have some small critiques or small criticisms, I'm going to say them. And, well, can we see the video before you say them? And I noticed in the beginning, I'm like, the second that I say no, or that I ask too many questions, they withdraw. They 100% withdraw, and that sucks. And I get it. It's only because of the way that things were set up before me. Because tons of guys before me said, yay, I'm just so happy to have an action figure. Yeah, send me that free figure and I'll promote it, and I don't even care what free figure it is. Like, and that's wild to me. Not only are these guys not getting paid, but in some cases, they even have to send a standard figure back. Are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? Like, that shit is wild to me, bro. Like, nah, never. I can't see shit like that happening ever over here. Real quick, Ironic Bionic said, I dig how some of these smaller companies are actually listening. Case in point, Loose Collector and the Boot. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen that. I don't know if you guys seen that, but they have mentioned that they are actually going to improve on their boots and their foot for the heels, especially for the women. I don't think they had the issue. Do not think they had the issue when it comes to their other figures. But Loose Collectors, damn, how did I forget about them? I should have definitely been using them as an example. They definitely are improving. And I know this. I know for a fact that they're definitely improving. I just can't wait to prove that they are improving, which I am super excited about. I hope that they continue improving, but they did at least publicly state that they are definitely making things better moving forward, as far as how hard it is to stand those beautiful females up with those tiny ass heels, or the feet aren't as flat as maybe they can or they should be. They said that they're improving, so that is awesome, man. I cannot believe I forgot about, you know, that Loose Collector doing that. Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to see what type of improvements they make. Yeah, man. Over 300, yo. Shout out to you guys that stayed. This was basically just me talking and venting, and trying to answer any questions that I could, get into all the super chats and any other loose questions that I could, just about, it's not fun, guys. Like, it's not fun to try to negotiate with companies where they feel like they don't have to negotiate at all. And it's crazy. Imagine if you guys had a channel that you guys busted your ass on. I spend at least. So if you do a 20, 30, or 40 hour work week, I spend equal to that making content. Like I try, so I work and then I'm like, yo, I need to make content, yo. So I'm busting my ass to try to grow my channel or try, and then a company comes along and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send you some stuff. Just make sure you say some positive shit about it. Don't work that way, man. It don't work that way here, and it's annoying that it even worked that way at all. Because like I said, the collecting community in general, it's like we fall short of having any type of standards. I don't know if it's because a lot of us are guys that are really attached to these IPs and they bring us back to good times, and we're just happy to work with the company. And don't do it. Like, don't even fall into that trap. And everybody that sends me a DM and asks like, hey, I want to get into making action figure reviews. Do you have any? Just bring value. Try to bring value. Take what I'm doing. I don't care. Like, I see some people argue like, oh, I invented this or I didn't. Bro, I didn't invent much. If you want to say I invented something, shit, say that I invented candor. Say that I invented trying to keep it real, more real in the action figure community, because I wasn't the first to do it. There's tons of guys that come before me, Anthony's Customs, Retro Blast. There's tons of guys that keep it real as well, but we're in the minority. We are a small minority versus the majority that is, I'm only going to speak when it's positive, and I'm never ever going to shake the bridge that I have made with a major corporation. We are extremely outnumbered by those damn guys. Channels like Anthony's Customs, and Anthony's Customs, he gets free shit in too, and it's wild to me. He'll get some free shit in, and if you really don't like it, he'll still post an entire video and be like, this is dog shit. And I'm like, ouch. Like, they're probably never gonna reach out to him again, but sometimes over time they do, and those are the companies you want to work with. But Anthony's Customs is amazing. I like watching his videos, and I know some people could be like, oh, he nitpicks, he does this, bro, he has his standards. He has his standards, and I definitely think content creators like him are not the issue. It's the positive police. It's the content creators that are just happy to know somebody from the company. Those are the guys that mess it up for everybody. But there's tons of channels that do try to keep it real, but it's going to be hard to grow. And like I said, if you are a drama channel, or if you're a channel that's only dedicated to posting negative videos or saying negative stuff or always coming at somebody or something, bro, you're going to have trouble growing. You are 1,000,000% going to have trouble growing on YouTube. You got to bring value in a different way. Like I said, take what I'm doing. Take what I'm doing and try to make it better. Try to make it your own. I'm like, look at D Amazing. D Amazing is, I think he's a great photographer, one, but him doing that little photography montage at the end, I said, damn, I should try to do that throughout my entire video. I should, but in a video way, because I like videography more than I like photography. So I'm like, how do I incorporate, his little ending montage? How do I incorporate that for at the end? Like, so I see what some other channels do, whether it's D Amazing or it's Anthony's Customs, or I see what they do, Retro Blasting, his talking pieces and his talking points, and how logical he tries to be when he breaks stuff down. I see what all these channels are doing, and I'm like, damn, to stand out, I need to bring all of it to the table. Like, I need to try and incorporate all of it. I don't want to just be just another channel. And this shit is hard work. Like, I joked and I laughed, like, back in the day when I didn't do it, when I was posting one video every 3 months. I did that for years, and I had no growth. I had nothing. Posting one video every 3 months, unless it's going to be like a highly edited video, it's not going to get you anywhere. Someone that I think mastered posting one video every once in a while is like Spider Criminal. Spider Criminal does not post every damn week. He doesn't. But his videos are so entertaining, they're so well edited, that even if he is going to post one video a week, that one video a week is going to be super entertaining, super edited, and it's going to carry him like he did post 3 or 4 videos a week. That's beautiful, man. Shout out to Spider Criminal. Like, he's doing great things over there. And we have channels, or the opposite of Spider Criminal, like I said, Dave from Display Model Behavior. It's like, I don't know if it's happening to anybody else. I cannot get on YouTube without seeing him in my recommended or seeing him on my home because he just posted a video. I don't know when that man even sleeps. Like, I thought I didn't sleep. He always has a new video. And granted, they're not highly edited videos, but guys, it still takes time for him to get up there and to record a video. That's still taking him at least 1 to 2 hours minimum, on top of working whatever regular job he works. Like, it quickly becomes like, I'm like walking a thin line where I still want to love what I do. I still want to love these action figures. But years ago, back when I worked for the comic book companies, and then I started to own a comic book company, I'm like, a comic book store, I was like, yo, I can't do this. Like, I can't post reviews just to post reviews just because it's something new. And some of these channels only survive. Some of these channels only survive because they post the newest items up. Like the newest classified items, the newest Marvel Legends, the newest imports. Some of these channels, people don't go because they care about the creator. They just want to see the newest item. They skip to the parts they want to see, and then they dip out. Some channels only survive because they're posting new product. I can't do it. Like, I cannot do it. So I gotta try. It's always like walking this line. It's like not ice, not fire. You gotta try to walk in the middle and be both. Like, can't be too hot, can't be too cold. I try to walk in the middle where it's like, yo, I don't want to post a review. Or when I get tired of posting reviews, it's like, let me take a step back and not post nothing if I'm not passionate about it. If I'm not passionate about this figure or sending this message, then let me just not say shit. Let me not post nothing. Because guys, posting the post is not fun at all. And you could tell. You guys can tell when you're watching a creator and they're like, yeah, bro, like this guy don't give a shit. Like he don't give a shit. He don't even really like this shit. People can tell. People can 100% tell. Laser pants. Everyone knows that I invented. Oh my god. Everyone knows that I invented action figure photography. You sure you did? I heard somebody else did. I'm not even trying to start no smoke, bro. I'm just letting you know. I heard somebody else beat you to that. So I can't verify that. I try to back you up, bro, and I try to, if you said it, usually I'm like, yeah, that's facts, but I don't know, man. I heard that there's somebody else that said similar things like that. And 78 points of articulation said the indie companies have really shown how it can be done. It reminds me of indie comics in the early 90s. Yeah, that's a good ass example. I never thought about that example at all. Shout out to 78 points of articulation. He makes some really good dioramas and just art in general. I like to call it art, but shout out, go check him out if you haven't. But that is a really good example, man. I did not think about that, but yeah, that is very similar to what it is. And as usual, we got real quick, and of course she's being nice. She's super nice to everybody. Blue Serendipity is in the house saying good night, Unc. Shout out to Unc, man. Good night, man. Go get some sleep. But yeah, guys, this was just me talking about how it is working with companies, because a lot of people, they wouldn't believe, like I said, and I have the Carfax to prove it. And I'm hoping that a day never comes where I actually have to, when I'm going back and forth with somebody and I need to show that I say no to 8 out of 10 things that get offered to me. And it sucks. It sucks because there's times I don't even want to say no. There's times but there's so many damn stipulations. There's so many damn rules with how they want things to be done on my channel, where I'm like, if I say yes to this, it's going to be crazier next time. If I say yes to this, they're going to try to talk art me and just start sending me shit and then have this crazy expectation that I'm just supposed to post it. Not happening. So it's like, I'm forced to just say no, man. But, yo, I appreciate everybody that stayed, man. And this guy, oh, you're getting that smoke. Yo, look at that. Looks like a potato. No lie, that emoji dead looks like a potato. I don't know if y'all can see that emoji, but it dead looks like a potato head. That is this man, yo. Shout out to Laser Pants, y'all. Yo, I appreciate y'all kicking it. We've been here for an hour and a half already, guys. I'm going to try to go live every 2 weeks. I don't think I have the time to do it every week. If y'all really want it every week, we'll try to make that happen. But I'm going to try to go live every 2 weeks with just different topics that I talk about and I interact with you guys about in the chat. But we've already been here for an hour and 30 minutes. And if you're a private member, yo, in 10 minutes, tune in to the private chat, man. If you are a member, take advantage of that private chat, because that's where I stay and answer all the questions. But an hour and 30 minutes, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate venting to you guys, because it's not too many people. Like, I talked to one of my bro show. I talked to him about it, and there's not too many people that I talk to about all the BS that really be happening behind the scenes with these toy companies and content creators. Like, this shit is hilarious, bro. Like, this shit is really hilarious. But I do wish, in closing, I do wish a lot more content creators had more standards when going up against these toy companies, because it would make my life easier. It would make their life easier in the long term. Like, I do wish that they had more standards. And I already said them, but people like to take shit and flip it. I already said, like, I love DMazion's channel. I exclude DMazion from that, because you guys know, like, he'll get shit in early. The reason I exclude him from that is because he actually does a lot of work for a lot of companies. Like, he's done photography for a lot of companies. So I exclude him from that type of stuff. A lot of times he's showing off figures that he did the promotional work for, and the box, the photos and shit like that for. So I'm not including him in it. He's in a totally different class, because he's actually, doing professional work for these companies. I'm talking about regular content creators that just don't want to burn the bridge because of their access or because of those perks, like getting a figure from time. I'm talking about those guys, man. And they make everything harder, because it's like, yo, bro, just have some standards, man. Just have some standards. And yeah, man, we got to get to this private after show because I'm sure the questions in there are gonna be kind of crazy, and I gotta address them, man. I gotta talk about them. But thank you to everybody that came out for this live. We'll be live again in 2 weeks, most likely. I'll have the topic up. Comment in this when you guys watch the replay. If anybody's watching a replay, comment down below if you have a topic that you want me to talk about or anything like that. But we about to go to this private live member show, man. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for watching. And like I always say, life is short. Try to appreciate it more than you complain about it. Peace.